Hello, good evening, welcome. This is Hot Edition. We're live from a news up here at Desawe Kanda. We're also live on Kesme 107.1 in Tamale and beyond. We're live on W93.5. You can also listen to us there in Wa and beyond. We're streaming live now across all social media platforms at 3FM 927 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Remember, you can also share your thoughts with us on all the issues we're talking about here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. We have the latest coming through from the SIM card re-registration deadline, which ended yesterday. Lots of you have been reaching us with your reactions, and especially those who have been affected by the deactivation of unregistered SIMs. We have updates also from the mobile money vendors who are raising concerns about how this is impacting on their businesses as well. The telecommunications companies as well have not been left out of the impact of this situation. Stay with us here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. We're just receiving some unfortunate news. 7 persons reported dead, several others injured in the renewed Gonja Mamprushi clash. We have updates on that shortly here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Also, Kenneth Japan confident of victory as he picks up his NPP flag bearership forms. We are coming with the details of what happened at the party headquarters earlier today when Kennedy Japan picked up his form to contest the flag bearership of the new patriotic party. Stay with us. Also, we go to the Asin North constituency where we've seen some brisk development already done. We understand the residents have seen roads being fixed as we speak ahead of the by-election in later this month. They are saying it is because of this by-election that their roads are being fixed. As to whether that's going to influence the decision they take ahead of this by-election, definitely we will get to know. Stay with us. We have these plus the latest in business, sports, and entertainment coming up over the next 60 minutes here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Let's get into the details now. Close to 45,000 mobile money vendors are set to lose their businesses following the inability to link their Ghana cards to the agents. That's the agent SIM card or account. That's according to the Mobile Money Agents Association of Ghana. As you may already be aware with what's happened now, mobile subscribers whose SIM cards have been deactivated have another opportunity to restore them by completing the registration process. Affected customers can still have access to money in their wallets and activate all SIM related services. Some 9 million SIM cards have been deactivated after expiration of May 31 deadline granted by the National Communications Authority. Now, owners of the SIM cards cannot make or receive calls, send text messages, or make financial transactions over failure to re-register their SIMs with the Ghana card. My colleague Christian Nyale was earlier today at a number of these mobile money offices and also the telcos to gauge a mood and to find out exactly what's happening there. We would give you details of it later on here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Stay with us, and your thoughts and views, comments and opinions are welcome. We'll get into more of it as we go on here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. This is Evan Sotumfo, who is the General Secretary of the Mobile Money Vendors Association, speaking about how this is impacting on their businesses.
Welcome this. Or what is your initial reaction to this?
Okay, so I think it is a welcoming news, considering the financial implication this might have on the economy. So if the NCA has come to the realization that it is proper that ample time is given to ensure that persons who are yet to re-register their SIM cards will take advantage and do so. It is a welcoming news to us. Where we find ourselves, the business leverages a number of networks, and for that matter, subscription before we are able to, continue to see the business booming or viable. And so, if the NCA has at this point um, granted, more timeline to engage further, I think that is the best decision that we have witnessed at the moment.
You had earlier stated that over 45,000 agents, okay, risk losing their job. How does this help to change that imminent situation?
Yes, so the NCA has been petitioned with regards to the significant number of agents that are yet to regularize their business account or agent account with the Ghana card. We are looking at over 45,000 mobile money agents. And if the NCA should continue to pursue the 31st May deadline to have all unregistered SIM cards, including the business accounts of the agent, also deactivated, then it is really going to be a great affront to the economy, businesses, and then employment as a whole. It is really going to affect it negatively because over 45,000 agents having their accounts blocked, that should really send a big shivers to the spine of businesses and then access to financial services.
But how did you come by the number? How did you get the number? How did you know about 45,000 of your people have not linked their cards? And how did it even happen at all?
Yes, getting this information is about data, and data. We work with the various service providers, that is the telcos, and so we are able to have information as to the number of members who, as of yesterday, registered their agent SIMs, and those that could not register their agent SIMs as a result of various reasons. And so, this particular action that the NCA really wanted to take, it came to us as a big um, news that if the NCA should really pursue this, the consequence will be immeasurable. And so the need that we have to engage further to draw the NCA's attention to the vital role that agents are playing and the impact that the blocking of 45,000 over agent SIMs will bring to the country. It is through these agents that if you visit the villages or the remote areas that financial access is becoming a problem. It is through these agents that have been able to set up these mobile money outlets to offer financial services to people who are underbanked, people who have low access to banking services. And so looking at over 45,000 agents, and for you to pursue blocking them, then it means that we are really going to cause a lot of financial loss to the state.
So now that this window has been opened for those who are yet to, register their SIM cards to do same, what is going to be your step going forward to ensure that all your members are secured? Mind you, one of the things that have come up is that those who have monies in their wallets, would be secured, at least for now. They're not going to lose them. But what steps are you going to take going forward once this window is open for them?
Yes. For us as a body, we have engaged with the various telcos to help make the process of linking our agents' accounts to the Ghana card very simple. And so, as of on the 28th to yesterday, which happens to be 31st, premium has been attached to the agent's account regularization or re-registration. And so across all the facilities of the telcos, there is a special desk created for agents to visit these facilities, so that as soon as they get them, they attend to them, because the role that they are playing is really significant. And so we are equally going to pursue the opportunity that the service providers have provided for our members to take advantage and register their agent SIMs and business accounts. We are going to continue to engage on that. We are going to continue to ensure that we provide extensive sensitization and education, encouraging members to proceed and then look at registering their SIM cards with the Ghana card. The little challenge that we envisage has to do with access to the Ghana card. As we speak now, some have still not received their Ghana card, and it is the Ghana card that is serving as the only denominator to have your SIMs registered. And once you don't have it, you almost appear helpless. And so we are still hoping that the NIA will expedite the distribution and access to the Ghana card, so that people who are yet to do the linkage will also proceed and then do so. Others have also lost their Ghana card. I mean, a lot of factors have actually resulted in where we find ourselves now. And for the fact that the Ghana card can only link up to 10 SIM cards is another challenge or concern. But for agents, there is a certain bracket or a certain category that agents have been placed, and that is under the corporate category, where if you are a corporate entity and you are operating more than 10 SIM cards, you are given a certain profile. That profile enables you to link as many as possible corporate accounts or SIM cards to your name without any limitation. So it is an opportunity that is available, but unfortunately, the communication on this opportunity hasn't been that well communicated. And so going forward, we are really going to engage the telcos to see how best we can work together and ensure that this category that is available to agents and other corporate entities will take advantage of it within the right timing to ensure that they have everything linked to it.
All right, thank you so much.
So that's Ivan Sotumfo, who is General Secretary of the Mobile Money Vendors Association, detailing their concerns there when my colleague Christian Yale spoke to him. And in fact, they are talking about some close to 45,000 mobile money vendors who are going to be affected by this decision by the National Communications Authority to deactivate some 9 million SIM cards, which we understand have been deactivated after the expiration of the May 31 deadline granted by the National Communications Authority to have SIM cards fully registered. Here's what we've gotten information of, though, getting through to the Chamber of Telecommunications Ghana. They've also been engaging with the NCA on this matter. We got information from Engineer Dr. Kenashigbe, who will be joining us as we go on here on Hot Edition, that mobile money users whose services have been limited due to the failure to re-register their SIM cards have been handed a lifeline by the National Communications Authority to have those services restored. There's an opportunity to still have that SIM card registered and all services restored, including the Momo wallets. Now, this can be made possible if subscribers register their SIM cards with their Ghana card. Now, Kenashigbe indicated that for the about 7 million or so whose mobile money will be affected, what has happened is that if you restore, you will get access to your money. This is the indication that he gave earlier today.
The NCA, what is going, and the initial directive was going to be that we're going to block, we're going to delink, and then we're going to remove. But through the magnanimity of the NCA, what is going to happen now is that, so they will block. So when we block, now all the fraudsters and all of that, will not have access again. But then you have the opportunity, so you can do a call, you can send a text message, you can do data, you can do your mobile money. But you have the opportunity to be able to dial *404# to be able to register when you get your Ghana card.
So this was the earlier information that Engineer Dr. Kenashigbe gave to us. Thankfully, he's joined us on the telephone now, Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Telecommunications Ghana, Engineer Dr. Kenashigbe. Thank you for your time here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. From what you've gathered, how many SIM cards may have been deactivated today after the expiration of the deadline yesterday?
Okay, so we were dealing with around the 9 million number, but however, you are not able to do all of that. It's not like a switch that you would turn off your transmitter at 3FM. So you would have to go and deal with this in batches. So the MNOs have particular numbers that they're able to do in a day. So approximately almost maybe around 2.7 million thereabout to 3 million would have been done this today. And so I'm sure in the coming couple of days or more, we'll be able to deal with all the total number of about 9 million that we have on the for the three MNOs, Airtel, MTN, and Vodafone.
I see.
So what it means is that, fortunately, and through the magnanimity of the NTA, instead of blocking and deleting and removing these numbers from the SIM database, the NCA has offered that all of these numbers that are blocked, we hold on to delinking and removing them till the NCA comes back to communicate when. And so what that means is that these numbers would be able to dial *404# and be able to register again and get their numbers back. But the window that has been open for them, it's just for a period. The NCA can always come back at any time and then come and close it and then ask that these numbers be delinked, such that then the people, the subscribers will not be able to get their numbers back. So it is very important that we stress that if you have been blocked, you are still able to register your number. So go get your Ghana card and immediately complete your registration. And in this time, you can't say you're doing the stage one and leave it for another time. Once you finish the stage one, you should proceed to do the bio capture and complete the registration.
I see. So it is *404#.
Correct.
That's the short code.
That would enable you to do the registration. And if you finish it, you then can dial *400# to check, whether it's been done. And you should be seeing the B cap saying yes.
Right. And one other concern that we've gotten is that some people, through no fault of theirs, don't have the Ghana card. And they were giving a cheat with some interim Ghana card number by the National Education Authority, awaiting the printing of their cards. What happens to these people?
Okay, so what has happened is that there are a few exemptions that the NCA has made. And one of these exemptions are people who have genuine reasons why they don't have their Ghana cards in their hands, or they have had some SIM registration challenges. So when you have such a challenge, you go to the NCA, or you send them an email, or you use any of the channels, and you can take a shot of that slip, and then you share it with them. They would, and then as well as your number, and then they would be able to look at it, adjudicate, and then direct the telcos to exempt you from it and make sure your service is not blocked. And then you also have foreign diplomats who don't register for Ghana cards; they've been exempted. Refugees as well. If you're a refugee, you also would be exempted. Ghanaians who have their phones outside the jurisdiction, who've been there for 6 months, they are also exempted. Ghanaians who are outside Ghana on national assignments are also exempted. And then the NCA has exempted merchants and agents for the time being, and they are working to get their registration also sorted out.
I see. That definitely comes as some clarification and good news, especially for the vendors, the mobile money vendors, because we just spoke to the Mobile Money Vendors Association, both the president and general secretary. They have estimated that if this thing had carried through as was expected, some 45,000 of their members would have been out of business today.
It's more than that. The numbers are more than that, because apart from they are looking at just the agents, you also have the issues of the merchants as well, and so the numbers were more than that. And the NCA, considering the impact on financial inclusion, considering the impact on government as well, is taking steps to ensure that we get these agents and merchants registered as quickly as possible.
I see. So these agents and merchants, as we speak today, none of them have had their SIMs blocked. They're still working.
None of them are supposed to have their SIMs blocked. So if there are any of them who have their SIMs blocked, they should reach out to the networks they are on, and I'm sure if it's an error, it would be dealt with. The challenge is some of them did not register their SIMs as corporate. They registered them as using individual, SIM registrations. Those were some of the problems. You also had situations where some of these individuals who were registering their SIMs, maybe one agent has about 10 or 20 agencies, and he attempts to register all of these SIMs under his Ghana card, rather than registering them as a corporate, because if you come to TV3, for example, if TV3, you have numbers for about 100 of your staff, what would happen is that you just need one of your directors' Ghana card, and his biometric will be used to link all of that. But unfortunately, because of there are a few communication issues, and some of the agents and merchants did not treat them as that. So it's the reason why there are some of these challenges that are being looked into by the NCA.
Wonderful. So respectfully, before I let you go, for those who are listening to us and watching us on Facebook right now, if through no fault of theirs they don't have the Ghana card and they've been given a chit or with a temporary number by the NIA, they can reach out to the National Communications Authority.
Correct. They reach out to the National Communication Authority, and then they provide a slip and they provide the numbers that they have. Then the NCA will do their own investigations, and then they will direct the MNOs to exempt these from the barring.
Okay, so how do they reach the NCA? Is there a number that they
I'm not sitting here at my desk, so I don't have the number, but I know if the NCA has there's an email address, there's a toll-free number, and I think they provision some other channels that you can reach them. They have their Facebook, they have various channels as well that you can use to be able to reach the NCA.
I see. Engineer Dr. Ocansey, I thank you very much for your clarification and also this information. Appreciate it.
Thank you. But I think it's important we let everybody know that if you've been barred at this time and you have the opportunity of getting your Ghana card, register immediately. This lifeline that has been offered might not last forever. The tendency for a lot of us is that, so there's a time, some grace period that has been given. not take action till it is too late. If you don't, what would happen is that when the grace period goes off and you are delayed, if you even go and want to register, you won't get your number again. You have to register a new number. And if you've used this number for your banks, for various apps that you registered, then you would really be at a loss. So it's important that if you have a Ghana card and you've been barred, immediately get it registered.
Wonderful. Now, but to the extent, maybe finally, to the extent that the Ghana card is the sole source document for this registration, re-registration of our SIMs, and the NIA has also been talking, saying they are not to blame for this. The NCA also says, you know what, if you don't have your Ghana card, we can't do anything about it. Does it concern you that this process is ongoing, but these two institutions, as we speak, there's no coordination, or at least that kind of symbiotic relationship between the two of them to ensure that we all are not at the receiving end of all of this back and forth?
Well, it's concerning that, that's the Ghana card is the primary card that we're using, and some people do not have it. And so how do you deal with people who don't have it? The challenge is that I wish, for me, one of the things I wished was that for even people who have registered, if it could be that we're using just the NIA system, then all I needed to do was that if I put my finger on any reader, I could verify with a database that is at NIA, and then I could be registered. So there are other things we could have done, to have, if there was a lot more collaboration and cooperation between the two entities. But you also need to go back and look at it, and you check and you find out that in terms of the numbers that are outstanding, in terms of the NIA has released a lot of cards, and more than even the unique numbers that have done the SIM registration. So the question is, why have others not done it? But there's also the concern for people like those in Boko, for example, and other conflict areas, who might not have been able to do their biometric verifications as well because of the conflict situation. And so those are the class of people that the NCA exemptions, tends to cover.
Engineer Dr. Ken Ashigbe, thank you so much for your time. Wish you well.
Thank you.
Great. Engineer Dr. Ken Ashigbe is the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Telecommunications Chamber. A number of your questions that you post to us on social media is what we've asked and gotten some clarification and answers to for you. Here's what we do know, especially with the mobile money vendors. The information, as you just heard from Engineer Dr. Ken Ashigbe, CEO of the Telecommunications Chamber, is that no mobile money vendor or merchant SIM has been blocked as we speak. And there is also that work that's ongoing to have the mobile money vendors and merchants SIMs registered. That's number one. Also, for those of you who are listening to us that through no fault of yours, you don't have the Ghana card, which is the sole document for this SIM card re-registration, what the National Communications Authority has done is that you can reach out to them. In fact, we're trying to get through to the NCA to find out which number you can call to reach out to them and make that official complaint that you don't have the Ghana card. They will investigate and restore your number to you while the NIA goes through the process to get you your Ghana card. For those whose numbers have been blocked because you started the first phase of the process of re-registering your SIM, but you did not complete the process, you have a window of opportunity. And what we understand is that you can dial *404#. You'll be given a prompt. You follow through the prompt and ensure that you complete the registration process with your Ghana card. After which you dial *400#. Make sure that the deactivation code is sent to you. That's what we do not right now. But Professor Ken Atefa, who is the Executive Secretary of the National Education Authority, has also been speaking about the state of affairs with the Ghana card and those of you who don't have it.
I think decent-minded, fair-minded Ghanaians will not blame NIA. Decent-minded, fair-minded Ghanaians will draw a distinction between NIA and other cognate institutions that bear responsibility for performing other state functions. Our duty is to register Ghanaians onto the National Identity Register and issue them with Ghana cards, and qualified foreigners resident in this country for 3 months or longer who are not diplomats or representatives of international non-governmental organizations. To such, we have made our service available since 2018. We have done a mass registration exercise as required by law, a year-long exercise truncated by COVID, but we resurrected, we energized ourselves, boldly and diligently went out there and served the people of Ghana by conducting a mop-up mass registration exercise. After that, we went out there and conducted a special card issuance blitz just to issue cards to people. On all 3 occasions, some Ghanaians elected not to go and get registered. Understandably, some were outside the country, some were in hospitals, some were whatever, unable to. But a broad majority of Ghanaians who are thronging our offices today cannot rightfully blame us because we did not fail to make our services available to them. We made our services available to them. When they had registered, some of them elected not to go for their cards, and we still have over 631,000 cards with NIA because the owners have not gone for them.
That's engineer Dr. That's Kenneth Shigbe, who spoke to us earlier, and you've just heard as well Professor Kenneth Tefa, who is Executive Secretary of the National Identification Authority, talking about some 631,000 cards which have been printed. Owners have not gone to collect them. It's 27 minutes to the 6 p.m. here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. At least 7 people, we understand, have been reportedly killed and several others injured in an ongoing clash between members of the Gonja and Mamproshi tribes at Lukula in the North Gonja district. This is breaking news just coming through. The victims include a 70-year-old Mamproshi chief of the Kuwerigo community, Na Salifo Nachina, who was shot dead at his house by gunmen. Let's get on to Zoom now and get a bit more into this rather unfortunate news we're hearing now. My colleague Christopher Marco is a Northern and Savannah regional correspondent. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. What more do we know about this latest clash we understand is ongoing?
Yes, so Alfred, as rightly mentioned, we have information that some 7 persons have reportedly been killed, even though the Savannah Regional Minister confirmed to us that according to the Savannah Regional Police Command, 1 person has been reportedly killed. Now, Alfred, the latest attack started today dawn, and as we speak, the Lukula and Mimpiasam communities have become ghost towns. Women and children have all fled the community, even though security has been beefed up in the area. I spoke with the Savannah Regional Minister on this particular development, and he had this to say.
We actually didn't envisage this whole violence to come to this level because it was just based on rumor. Warriors, when people are riding motors towards that side, there's rumor that there are warriors who are going into those communities. But what really triggered this whole thing was just a group of young men and women in the Mimpiasem decided that they will have to open their school again. You know, because of this war that has always been raging over the years, the school authorities in Mimpiasem closed down the schools because the teachers' lives were at risk. So they decided that they would sit down this time and have a meeting and open the school again. Through their own efforts, they got some of their school, some children who've completed, or some adults who have completed SHS to start with the school. So they went there and they were having this meeting. And so somebody raised an alarm that it was a group of warriors who were in the school having a meeting to attack Lukula. Unfortunately, that rumor spread like wildfire. That triggered this whole thing, and that the warriors from Janga and warriors from Waspi clashed over this rumor this morning. But when we heard that, we had already sent police or a team of police force to that community to make sure that we foresaw peace so that people can go ahead with their lives. Unfortunately, the things spiral to this level, and it's just unfortunate that this thing has happened this way.
Yes.
So what we did was, in between the two regional coordinating councils, we had formed a standing committee, or a fact-finding committee, that is between the regional coordinating council for the Savannah and regional coordinating council for Northeast region. So when we put up this committee, we made sure that they went to the stakeholders, those who matter in this particular situation. And then we took almost every information that we wanted, and we put up a document to make sure that we present it to the National Security Office or headquarters to make sure that they will rather implement, because it is very difficult for us as coordinating councils to be able to implement the peace process that we started. You know, the whole thing is just that if you look at administratively, the two towns that we're talking about, the two villages, Lukla and Mimpias, fall under the North Gonja district. And that, in that case, it is under the Savannah region. Nobody disputes that. But the dispute here is between the two traditional authorities. That is the Mamprugu Kingdom and the Gonja Kingdom. And precisely these paramounts, Waspi Paramounts in the North Gonja district, and Mamprugu Mogdori, the Janga traditional area in the Mamprugu Mogdori district in the Northeast region. So we as government entities, we have come to an understanding that these communities fall under the Savannah region. But it's the traditional authorities who are rather having these problems that we are facing almost 10 to 5 years today.
So this is the Northern Regional Minister giving you this detail, in fact, the Savannah Regional Minister, giving this detail to you, Chris. And so, this latest clashes, we understand, it's based on a rumor that went round, and that's what got the warriors from both towns to clash.
Yes, exactly so, Alfred. And I can also confirm to you, Alfred, that a team of police officers who earlier today were on their way from Daboya to the Lukula community were involved in an accident. And this is also another issue that has come as a result of the conflict in Lukula. Now, according to the people who visited the Lukula community and have confirmed some of these issues to us, if you enter the Lukula community, unlike the previous attacks, Alfred, the whole thing started somewhere in 2019. And in 2019, 2 people lost their lives. 34 houses were touched, and some 2 persons were arrested. In 2020, a similar incident broke, but there weren't any deaths recorded. 2021, 1 person lost his life, and about 54 houses were touched. This time, Alfred, I must say that a lot, if you go to the Lukula community, it's just like a ghost community. The entire Lukula community has been touched, and residents have all fled the community. So that is how serious it is this time. Unlike the previous attacks, the attack, people come in and everything gets calm again. But this time, the people have lost virtually everything, even though police and military have since taken over the security of the area.
That's really worrying, just to say the least. Now, how about this information that the victims who may have been killed as a result of these renewed clashes between the Mamprushis and the Gonja tribes at Lukula involved a 70-year-old Mamprusi chief of the Kuerigu community, Na Salifo Nachina? Do you have this information?
Yes, Alfred, exactly so. I have that information. That particular chief adds up to the 7 people that we are told have lost their lives in the area. Even though we are yet to confirm this particular information, we are also told that some others are seriously injured and have been moved to the Tamale Teaching Hospital, where I'll be going to verify this particular information as well. I also understand that the body of the chief and other deceased persons are currently being transported to the Damango Municipal Hospital for preservation. That is the latest information I am gathering now.
Christopher, thank you so much for this update. Really appreciate it, as always. Christopher Amwakon is our Northern and Savannah regional correspondent giving us updates on this. And if you just joined us, this is Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Information that we're gathering is that at least 7 people have been reportedly killed and several others injured in an ongoing clash between members of the Gonja and Mamprushi tribes at Lukula in the North Gonja district. The victims include 70-year-old Mamprushi chief of the Kuerigu community, Na Salifo Nachina, who was shot dead at his house by some gunmen. In fact, the violence erupted this dawn following 2 days of tension in the community over attempts to stop the arrival of a viral this chief, we understand, whose videos has gone viral from Daboya. Eyewitnesses say over 50 houses, mostly belonging to members of the Mamprushi tribe, have been destroyed, and more than 100 people have since fled the community. Now, we have a background to what's happening today. The violence between the two tribes first erupted in 2019, immediately after the establishment of the Savannah and Northeast regions. Administratively, in the North Gonja district of the Savannah region, the communities are dominated by Tampolmas and Mamprushis. Now, during the creation of the two regions, that's the Savannah and the Northern regions, in 2019, the two tribes accused the Gonja authorities of economic and social neglect and thus declared their intention to join the Northeast region. Now, this irritated the Gonja traditional authorities in Daboya, leading to the first clash that happened. Now, in April, the Gonjas attacked the Mempeasem community and razed it to the ground. Government then instituted a committee to look into the dispute. The Northeast Regional Minister announced in December last year that the committee report was ready, but implementation has been a problem. So that's where we are with this particular situation and what's happening in the Savannah region. Stay with us here on Hot Edition. We keep our eyes on this one and we'll keep updating you as we go on. But organized labor is to review its position to allow government to include its pension funds in the debt restructuring program after meeting with the Finance Ministry today. The Finance Ministry convinced Labour to accept this new deal to allow government access the bond market. Spokesperson of Organised Labour and the Secretary General of TUC, Dr. Yauba, spoke exclusively to our Labour correspondent Daniel Opoku after a closed-door meeting with officials of the Finance Ministry earlier today.
So now we as Organised Labour are going to consider whatever they have presented, and then we will take a decision.
When you say new offer, what is that?
They have brought a new offer. It's a technical thing. If I say I can explain, I'm lying to you. They are trying to present something which is superior to what we rejected. And it has very, very, very technical details that I cannot explain. That is why we have put together our technical team to look at it for us. From what they are saying, the one rejected is no longer there. Right. In order for us to participate in the new bond market, we need to consider the offer they have presented today. We assure them that, we thank them and we assure them that we will consider the offer. So we are working on it. But we need further information. And that further information has to do with what they call exchange memorandum. That was not presented, but our decision was that we need further information, especially the details of the exchange memorandum of the new offer, and then we can take it from there.
So the new offer.
The meeting was very cordial. The presentation was very good, very clear, and now I can tell you we understand it even more than the time we rejected it, and we are justified that what they offered at the time that we rejected, we were right to reject it. Otherwise, why are they now coming with an offer that they think is superior? And definitely, if you look at what they showed us in terms of coupon rates, in terms of maturity terms and so on, we see some new things. But as I said, our technical team will look at it.
Well, so that's that exclusive interview my colleague and our chief labor correspondent Daniel Poko had with the spokesperson for organized labor and Secretary General of TUC, Dr. Yaba there. That leads us into business. Naneke Mensa Brampa, let's see, what's the latest?
Good to see you, Alfred. So apart from the pensioner bondholders who started their picketing again, you understand that they're doing this every Thursday and Friday until government meets all their demands. The month of June, which is my bed month, of course, is coming with a lot of charges. Utility tariffs is one.
That's why I mean those who are born in this month, no.
Oh, it means we are rich people. We can pay for everything.
You come with problems.
Well, I'm not going there. Let me stick to my business. So effective June said, if you import goods in commercial quantities, Alfred, you'll be charged 12.5% of the customs value of the goods before you can clear them from the port. And the Assistant Commissioner at the Large Taxpayer Office of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Dr. Martin Yaborija, made this known, adding that this upfront VAT payment is necessary to create uniformity in prices. So we're bringing you that story shortly now.
We have amended the VAT Act to take care of those who are importing goods in commercial quantity. So in addition to whatever taxes you have paid at the point of importation, you are asked to pay 12.5% of the custom value of the goods as an upfront VAT. The main objective, number one, is to bring about compliance. And then number two, we also want to bring about uniformity and parity in terms of the pricing. Because when somebody is registered for VAT and another person is not registered for VAT, because VAT is an indirect tax, the person who is registered for VAT will definitely charge a higher price than the person who is not registered. One, so if you are not compliant, the first thing is that you will not even be allowed to clear the goods from the port. Then you could also be denied of certain things. But domestically, it will come to find out that you are not registered. You can be prosecuted.
And that was the Assistant Commissioner at the Large Taxpayer Office of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Dr. Martin Yaborija. The immediate past president of the Ghana Institute of Planners, Alfred Ocansey, is calling for concrete data on the collapsing of buildings in the country, and this he believes will help drive policy implementation to forestall a reoccurrence. He made these comments during a stakeholder engagement organized by the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry, focusing on addressing the concerning development which has led to the loss of at least 2 lives recently.
Our biggest challenge now, as we're looking at it this morning, is that there has been several buildings collapsing in Ghana and recent times too. The fact is that when a building collapses and the engineers and those people concerned go there, as of now, we do not have the data to say that this is the biggest problem of building collapses. We can talk about the fact that in the last 1 month, 3 buildings have collapsed. What made them collapse? So we do not know. So if the minister or a particular institution want to tackle building collapsing in Ghana, where does he start from? But if you ask anybody on the street, he will have 1 or 2 examples to give you, answer to say that this is why building collapses. But if somebody says, I want to start stopping this building collapsing, there's no priority list. The majority of them is from this and that and that.
immediate past president of the Ghana Institute of Planners, Alfred Ocansey there. And just before we go, renowned economist Kwame Pianim has asked government to stop raising money on the international markets to finance cocoa beans purchases. This follows concerns by the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, that cocoa board's quasi-fiscal activities have become a major burden on the company's finances. Kwame Pianim tells 3 Business the practice must immediately cease.
One of the things that this program also says, the document, that we are going to restructure cocoa board. How can cocoa board be almost bankrupt when all they are doing is taking money and buying cocoa from the farmers? Maybe we should restructure and then forget about this idea of borrowing billions of dollars in anticipation of cocoa sales. We should syndicate CDs from our banks to buy our cocoa so that the income from marketing cocoa accrue to our banks domestically, not to foreign banks who are giving us dollars. When it comes to the most efficient body in Ghana to raise money, dollars for us, it's the Bank of Ghana, not Cocoa Board. We don't appoint the director of Cocoa Board for their expertise in borrowing foreign exchange for us. So let's go back to what we were doing before NDC rushed us into this idea of borrowing foreign exchange to buy cocoa. We don't need foreign exchange to buy cocoa. We can do it domestically.
And that was the renowned economist Kwame Pianim there, ending it for the business segment on Hot Edition. Log on to 3news.com for more. Kelvin Osonsa is next with sports.
Well, let's get into the world of sports. And Ghana teenager Ernest Nuama wins Player of the Spring Award in Denmark, as voted by coaches of the Danish top flight. Now, Nuama, who is 19 of Northern, received the award from the winner of the Player of the Autumn Moment, Ergo. Well, congratulations to him, and he's part of the 90-man squad to face Madagascar, as revealed by coach Chris Hughton earlier in the week. Now moving on, UEFA is awaiting the match officials report before deciding whether to take action against Jose Mourinho for his rant at referee Anthony Taylor after Roma's Europa League final defeat. According to reports, Roma boss Mourinho was critical of Taylor in a post-match conference and his side's penalty shootout defeat to Sevilla in Budapest on Wednesday. Now former Premier League referees chief Dermot Gallagher says Mourinho needs to face punishment for his recent actions.
With what's happened, and there's so many videos now of what's happened last night, that it's impossible not to take action over this, because it's not a good sight to watch. It's not good for football. It's not good for human beings to be talking to people like that. And the message it sends out is completely wrong, because Anthony Taylor, one of the best referees in the world, kept for the World Cup, he was one of those tipped for the final. Now, that's done on ability. That's done on a marvellous CV. It's not done by luck or accident.
Do you expect a long ban then for Mourinho?
I really don't know, honestly. I'm not fudging the issue. I don't know. That's up to UEFA what they do. But I would say they will certainly do something. It's impossible not to.
Well, highly impossible not to, but Ange Postecoglou has spoken about him being favourite to take charge of the vacant managerial role at Tottenham Hotspur. He seems not to be very much interested.
It's now being reported you are the preferred candidate for the Spurs managerial job. If anything, how has that changed the scenario for you this week at all? Has anything changed for you since we spoke about it last week?
No, somebody else was favourite last week, wasn't it? Doesn't register. I mean, I get all the interest in why people, love to sort of speculate on these things, and we've worked really, really hard to get ourselves into this position. And for me to let my mind wander about anything else other than getting our team prepared for a big day on Saturday is it's just not who I am.
Well, not just right now. Finishing off, Karim Benzema is reported to be edging closer to a big money transfer to Saudi Arabia, a move which will see him leave Real Madrid after 14 years and earn an eye-watering £345 million. Now, the only surprising result that came up from the French Open today, Jannik Sinner was defeated by German Daniel Altmaier 7-6, 6-7, 6-1, 6-7, 5-7 in the second round. So he's is out and cannot play in the third round. Akofa has entertainment.
Thank you very much, Kelvin. Our Ghanaian dancehall star Shatta Wale has, in a viral video spotted by 3 Entertainment, launched an attack on persons who say are calling for his arrest for his alleged involvement in socialite Hajia Forreal's romance scam saga. Now, the hitmaker made it clear that he works hard for his money, stressing that he is not into fraud. We'll bring you that sound bite in our subsequent bulletins. Moving on, the 5th edition of the African Youth in Tourism Summit, which seeks to throw more light on the link between the youth and tourism, is currently underway in Namibia. Stakeholders are of the strong opinion that the growth of tourism on the continent can be leveraged by empowering and building the entrepreneurial potentials of the growing youth population. Now, 3 Entertainment's Helen Apiampofo has more from Namibia.
Today we are at the MTC Dome, which is hosting the 5th Africa Youth in Tourism and Innovation Summit and Challenge. Here, some 38 African countries are representing, with the ultimate goal of promoting tourism on the continent and also entrepreneurship. Speaking at the launch of the summit, the Namibian Minister for Environment, Forestry and Tourism admonished the collaboration of industry players to push the African brand.
I urge the youth of Africa and all industry players to collaborate and form partnership to place the African brand or destinations Africa at the center stage of the global dialogue.
Mr. Kwachi Donko, CEO of Africa Tourism Partners, emphasized on the need to incorporate the youth into tourism.
One thing we don't realize is that, one, the population of youth is very big on the continent. I will not go into statistics, but it's something that is given. Now, if you want to grow any sector, you need the numbers. And the youth, for a couple of reasons. One, they are very adventurous. They are very exploratory. They would like to explore. And the fact that these are the people who are going to be the CEOs, the managing directors and leaders of the continent, it's important to focus on them now to ensure that they understand the sector, they understand the value, they understand the benefits, not necessarily for only businesses, but for them also to get gainful employment into the future.
And before I go, Ghanaian actress Nashako Mensah Duku has said acting in stage plays has been a great learning experience to the versatile thespian. Taking up different roles in plays has helped bolster her confidence and molded her to be able to deliver her lines and get them right the first time.
When you're studying for a stage play, you don't study only your lines. You study other people's lines as well. Yes. Yeah. So in the unlikely lines, we are able to chip in their lines and continue the play somehow, or remind them of what they're supposed to say by asking a question about their initial line.
What kind of brains do you people have? Because it takes a lot.
Stage is a great place to learn for all actors, because on stage you're live, and you know how it is when it's live. You don't have a second take or an opportunity to redo. So stage affords you the opportunity to learn how to do it right the first time. So even though I came to stage a little late, I started from film. I have found that being on stage has made me a much better actor, even in front of the cameras on television. So I think it was it has been a great transition or attempt at stage. It's going pretty well so far.
I think so.
Yes, and I've gotten a wonderful team to learn from and to work with.
And that ends the entertainment news here on Hot Edition, powered by 3 Entertainment. My name is Akofa, and I'll be back at 8 p.m. with Throwback on Wind Down. Alfred?
You're throwing us back?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes, but we're going to move away from the disco because, you know, the weather has changed a bit, so it will inform the playlist.
Senia weather now, you know there's a song like that.
Yeah, I know the song. Sister Fia has Famille on there as well, and I think Medical. Yeah, I know the song too well.
Too good. Thank you so much. Make a date with Akofa at 8 p.m. But before we go, please make some time and visit 3news.com. You can find some more news on 3news.com, including, but not limited to these. Embattled NDC member James Jatakwesen has officially announced his intention to participate in the Asin North by-election scheduled for June 27. Mr. Kwesen's parliamentary membership was revoked after the Supreme Court invalidated his election in the 2020 polls. You can find that as well. Also, 87 legal miners who invaded Anglo Gold Ashanti Obuasi mine rescued. Bakavomawo refuses to state his plea as he is slapped with fresh treason charges. Also, doctor fired for prescribing ice cream and video games to child with sore throat. You have details of all of that, including the increase in the fuel prices at the pumps. What we are monitoring is that GOIL has already increased its pump prices by some 15 pesos from the earlier 12 cedis 30 pesos per liter to 12 cedis 45 pesos per liter. That's what's happening now. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. On behalf of the rest of the team, we appreciate your company. Join me at 10 p.m. on TV3 for Ghana Tonight. I am Alfred Ocansey. Have a good evening.